Yo, 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 yo. It's your boy Snoop. But what's up everybody? Thank y'all so much for the birthday wishes. I finally hit that big 30, big 30, the dirty 30, whatever the kids are calling it these days. Yeah, I'm here, It doesn't feel bad at all, man. I'm telling you right now. It doesn't really hurt. It doesn't hurt at all. So, thank you so much everybody who reached out, man. It really meant a lot. Stuff like that. I was definitely told for the dirty 30, I should travel, do something different, like go overseas and things like that. And I mean, technically, I did do that. For those that don't know, I am in Kuwait. I live in Kuwait now. Live and work in Kuwait. I'm actually going to be a citizen of Kuwait pretty soon. That's going to be kind of cool. Have like a whole little citizenship card and whatnot. Um, so yeah, it's been a pretty awesome experience. I didn't get to go to Cancun or anything, you know, nothing like that. But given the circumstances, I definitely enjoyed it for what it was. Enjoyed it the best I could. Went out, uh, had some dinner with had some dinner. Well, I had some dinner, and then for dessert, I had like a milkshake. But it was cool, man. It was cool. Um, And so, with that said, the purpose of the video, honestly, personally, every year I like to think about what I've accomplished, um, and then I kind of think about, what's next. I kind of think about, you know, where I am, what I've done, where I'm going. Am I in the right place that I need to be right now? Am I on track? Um, am I where I need to be? Things like that. And for the most part, I'm very, very happy with myself. Every year, I really accomplish a lot every year. There hasn't been a single year where nothing stayed the same. I mean, just a couple of years back, starting out, I've been in San Antonio. I was in San Antonio for like 10 years. But every year there's something different, and I'm kind of going to be talking about some stories, sharing some stories with you guys because um, I kind of just wanted to this year, since it's like 30 is like a big one. I kind of actually just want to like reflect and kind of share like the journey that kind of led up to where I am now, and I think it's something a lot of people don't really talk about. I had a couple of people reach out to me, ask me, uh, how did I get where I am, or just little things like that. So I figured this would be a good year to kind of share my experiences, journey, things like that to kind of get to where I am now. And I gotta say, it's been a rough road. Some people they think it's easy, they think it's been sweet, but life has definitely been full of decision making, hard decision making, choices, and just kind of just this progression that I see, just kind of doing what's best for me to kind of to be in the position that I am now. And I know a lot of people know that I've been trying to get to where I am now, or at least it's been like on the to-do list for a really long time, years. So it was cool to see everybody on Facebook actually acknowledge that. The news like, man, you've been talking about that for years, and yeah, and I finally got it, and just let you guys know, there's more. So during the process of me coming out here, finally hitting that years of that thing that I talked about, finally here, and you would think that that's it, but it's never it for me. Well, there is an end goal. There absolutely is an end goal, but now just through meeting other people, things like that, I've got new plans that I think will be really solid. All a means to the end to get me to where I actually want to be. And where I want to be is chilling somewhere, sitting on my butt doing nothing, but not the sitting on my butt throwing some beers back, getting fat. I actually enjoy my health and staying as fit as I can, things like that. So, but anyway, yeah, I'm gonna get into some discussions. First, I'm just gonna kind of like share like kind of like my whole backstory leading up to like where I am now. It may kind of jump all over the place a little bit. I only have my laptop to work with, so I couldn't really structure out like a note form, like a presentation form, the way I normally would. So I'm just kind of working with what I got right now, which is like a laptop. I'm using my phone as a camera and a PlayStation headset. as a mic. But again, just making the most of what I got. And yeah, so let's get into it. I'm probably chop the video up, but for those who check out the full video, I think you guys will really enjoy it. Because again, I think I'll probably be talking about things that a lot of people just don't really discuss, or you wouldn't really hear people talk about it, and unless you're like, in person, or just hearing some type of like weird success story or something. But that's not what this is. It's just I'm just keeping it like 100% real. I just wanted to share my story personally, and then you guys can take away what you like from it, and any comments or thoughts greatly appreciated. I'm definitely open for any discussion. Let me know what you guys think about anything that I discuss. So all right, let me get into it. Let's see, where would I like to start from? So I think the best place to kind of start from is by saying that I'm from Killeen, Texas. And jokingly, when people always ask me where I'm from, usually just say Texas, and then they're like, "Where are you from?" And I'm like, Killeen, Texas. And I was kind of like jokingly go, a lot of people don't like to say they're from Killeen, Texas, but the reputation is out there. A lot of people know that, like, oh dang, like Killeen. But sometimes people just like, yeah, I've been there before, and then we just agree that there's nothing really there. Things like that. I mean, my manager out here, I met him, and the first thing he said to me was like, "Man, I'm glad you made it up out of Killeen." I was just like, "Yeah, cool." But so yeah, I'm just probably start just a little bit from like high school, kind of work it into college. So high school, I'm just gonna skip to graduation. I kind of remember graduation day. I remember, cap gown, all that good stuff, and a teacher actually like approached me. I was like one of my favorite teachers, and she asked me, why didn't I look happy? And I pretty much felt like it was just another day. High school was long, it was fun, all that good stuff, but like I honestly just felt like it was just another day, and I didn't really see like a bright future for me. I couldn't really, see what was going to happen afterwards, and it's like that question, they start to ask around that time. It's like, where do you see yourself in like 5 or 10 years, things like that. And, I can't really think that far ahead. Hell, I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow, to be honest with y'all. But, it's just, but, kind of what I felt was I was either going to be stuck in Killeen after I graduated, probably working like fast food or something, or my other option would be to try and join like the military. So of course, the first thing I tried to do was try and join the military, but unfortunately for me, I was unable to join due to my vision issues. I was actually just born this way with poor vision, so I couldn't join the military, and I was really really devastated. I mean, like I kind of just like lost. I was like, man, like this is it. Because I mean, like I feel like that was like the way, like my way out, or the only way, the only option that I really had. And then versus just being stuck doing fast food. So that one really hurt a lot. Um, but couple of, I'm not even sure how much later, but like much later, my dad actually reaches out to me. Calls me up and uh, basically just kind of asking me like what I wanted to do in my life. And like I'm like, I don't really know. I think I probably told him, hey, I tried to do this, it didn't really work out. Um, and then basically, so he started asking me questions like, what are things that I like doing. I didn't really know what I was doing at the time, but just kind of like gauging, just learn more about me. I didn't really grow up with my dad like that. So it was, we gotta start learning about each other, things like that. So he starts asking me, what are things you like? So I told him the things that I like. Things that I actually enjoy doing are filming, like video editing, playing video games, and I was kind of into art as well. Even though that one kind of like dwindled out towards the end of high school. Um, so then he asked me, do I want to go to school for any of those things? And then I kind of responded with like, well, no. And then, you know, so what would you want to go to school for? And I was just like, computers. And it's kind of what like people dumb it down to. They're like, computers. Uh, I think that's before like the term IT was like more popularized, or just like people were just not familiar with the term IT, so we just called it computers because that's just what we grew. That's what people called it, right? Um, and and I kind of felt like I chose that over things that I enjoy doing because I felt like it's something that I could do, and I felt like it would be something that I could make money in versus the other things that I really liked doing. And Pretty much, I think my dad agreed with me, and then we started the process of kind of like helping me go out and look into getting into college, things like that. So went out to San Antonio. We did a tour of some community college out there. I was like super overwhelmed. Didn't really like it. I think I ran into some guy who was like super arrogant. He's like, "Yeah, you remember me?" Like, tell him how cool I was, and I was like, "Okay, dude." But anyway, uh, and then went to go do a tour at ITT Tech, and I really liked that one. It was like super. It was like simple. It was quiet. They said they're gonna hand you all the books, all that good stuff. So I was like, okay, cool. Long, skipping ahead. So that's the school I went to, ITT Tech. That's where I went to. Sign up for the associates program. Cool. Boom. I'm in class. All right. So I get out there and pretty much coming right out of like high school, I kind of kept I wouldn't say like mentality, but like personality wise, like, I kind of kept like the whole class clown type of like vibe, personality. So as time kind of like went on, like more of the classmates, kind of like met me, saw me. Some of them even just told me straight up to my face, like they don't think that I'm gonna make it, basically. Kind of messed up. But I used to show up in school in my pajamas, stuff like that, literally joking like all the time, all the time. I just like to have fun. But so fast forward a little bit, some of the people who thought that I would make it actually dropped out themselves. So it turns out they didn't make it. And then so I actually graduated with the associate's degree, in the class, all that good stuff. And then my dad, reaches out to me again. He's like, "All right, son, you got your associate's degree. What do you want to do now? You can take a break. You can maybe start working or something, or you can go straight back into the bachelor's program and finish that." And I was like, "Man, let's just get it over with. Let's do the bachelor's program." So, and then starting out to the bachelor's program, same situation. A couple of people there, kind of started out strong. Everybody started dwindling, falling off, like they just dropping off. Basically, I graduated the bachelor's program, very, very small class, and I'm saying that because like starting from people thinking that I wouldn't make it, and like I graduated with like you could probably count how many people there was on two hands. Finished the entire program. I actually led my entire final, like the final class we had was like a capstone project. I actually led that entire project. Like nobody expected me to kind of like take charge and do that because I really wanted to to pass. I really wanted to get the degree, things like that. So people often see like my joking side a lot, but they don't know that if there's something that I want, like I put my mind to it, I will go out, do it, and I take things very seriously. So after graduation, I actually went out and bought a car. I had to get, well, I got myself a car because also by this time, like I've been working to try to get like experience during school, things like that. A lot of people don't really think like that as well, to kind of start gaining experience while you're in school. So when you get out, you're not looking like crazy, trying to get some job that you don't really qualify for because you have no experience, but you have a piece of paper. Um, Things like that. Pretty much after college, that's pretty much where I started to want more and just kind of like see things in logical steps. And I mean, like, I really did not enjoy school at all, but the mindset there was get it out the way. And I really didn't want anybody to say to me, "Oh, you don't have like a bachelor's degree." I felt like that was the thing that I needed to have. Um, and I mean, sure enough, I was asked before. It's like, "Oh, I thought you were done with school," but I've only done 2 years. And I don't know. Me personally, I just didn't feel like I didn't want anybody to have anything over me. And then also the same thing for a job. Like some jobs that require like a bachelor's degree, and I didn't want that to be a reason that I was told no. Oh well, you don't have this. Things like that. So I usually try to stay on top of things that I think that I would need because the worst thing you can be told is like no, because of something that you could have done. It's something that you could have fixed, or you had a chance to do, but you kind of brushed it off or didn't do it. So I'm just really glad that I just pushed through it and just kind of got it out the way. So my notes are literally all over the place. There's just literally just so much in my mind. So like I didn't know how I wanted to approach the video, and like I said, it's been difficult for me because I don't really have everything that I want to work with. But I would like to touch again, or it's probably the first time touching on it. Like, so the age 29, so this is the big 30, right? So the age of 29, 'cause, like I said in the beginning, I like to reflect on everything that I've accomplished for the year, things like that. 29 has been an interesting experience. It's been, I would say amazing. It's been amazing, and I would also say, given the circumstances for that as well. When I left San Antonio, I just said, man, I'm just ready to leave. My current job. I worked really hard. I was out there studying. I was getting certified. I was doing everything I needed to do. I was trying to position myself to get this position that I was interested in because I'm looking for more money. I have these plans. I have these goals, and I need to get there. So I was doing everything I needed to do, and the company just it just wasn't going to give me what I wanted, and I could tell that, and I wasn't gonna allow them to kind of just dangle the carrot in my face, or whatever the analogy you want to use to kind of know that you're basically being led on, um, and if I don't talk about it later, just mention like complacency. You don't ever want to be complacent, um, like for real. If I can immediately see when opportunity has escaped from my grasp, like there's no opportunity there. Uh, one of my IT jobs, like I said, I actually was there for years. Um, there was this thing that I was doing. Everybody knew I was great at it. A job position came open for something that involved it. I went to go interview for it. Didn't get the position. They told me the excuse was I was too laid back. It made zero sense. It was at that point like I knew it was time to leave. Same thing in the last job. I just knew it was my time to go. Several other things were happening that just, I just kind of just had enough of it. And then I figured that it was time to initiate my next step in like my plan. Like say every year I'm thinking about, how can I get to this next step? What do I need to do? Am I in the right place? Where do I need to go? So I started applying for jobs just out of the state. I didn't care where it was. I said, you know what? There's other things out there. There's nothing holding me down. I hear this all the time. Oh man, you're young. There's nothing holding you back. Blah blah blah. And I was like, you know what? They're right. So I just started applying out. Boom, something came up. I ended up in Indiana. People always ask me like, why'd you go to Indiana? I was like, it's not like I just threw a dart and said like hell yeah, take me to Indiana. Like, there was a reason for that. There was a job. They were going to pay to relocate me. Got a new title. That's more experience. That's where we're going, and that's where I went. And I was there for 2 years. So the age 29. So I was like, yeah, 28, 29. And the reason I say 29 has just been amazing because now I'm with this. Okay, there's some praying going on in the background. But the reason I say 29 was amazing is because I'm with this new company. I've been hearing about this company for a while. They got the full benefits. I finally decided to take advantage of the full benefits, things like that. Um, so yeah, so new title, senior system administrator, and this is something I never thought I would have in like a really long time. I started out at a help desk, and I knew the next step was like, okay, a little bit something more hands-on. So I got an on-site support analyst position at the oil field. Those 3 months with the potential, so one of those risky jobs where you might get laid off. Sure enough, got laid off, and I'll kind of get into like all those type of like challenges that I really have to overcome and stuff, later. But So so this job, the the 29, the age of 29, why it was amazing. I know I keep saying that. It was really a year for me to do a lot of focusing on my mental health, physical health, um, and this is the age where um, I did just that. So as far as like mentality, I had to just go for walks, take deep breaths. I would reach out to my dad and just have conversations, kind of discuss things that I was thinking about. Often when you're left alone in isolation, this is the start of COVID when I got this job. COVID has started, so the past 2 years, you're left with yourself in isolation. You start to question things. Man, am I doing something wrong? Things like that. What else can I be doing? Um, in reality, I was doing everything I could be doing. I was doing everything correctly, everything possible. But when you're doing stuff like that, it just kind of feels like something is missing, or maybe I was. So mentally, talking to the right people, finding things that work for you, whether it's like meditating, going for a walk, things like that. So I really just focused on and found like what worked for me, what kept me focused, what kept me positive, and happy in the inside. I also found like the inner happiness, things that just kept me, where I needed to be, so I didn't fall into any type of like depression. Um, Health wise, gym started opening back up. The gym, I was going to the gym very consistently. I'm not no stranger to going to the gym, and it started getting packed. So then I just started not going to the gym anymore. But I didn't want an excuse, so I just started working out at home, and I've actually had like the best results I've ever had, like ever. Well, literally without going to the gym, six pack started coming in, all of that. It's just awesome. I went out and got glasses. Vision has always been kind of like that thing that I felt like originally held me back, but you know, um, man, I mean that's another topic to like talk about. Like paths, how it's just like one road closed and another one opened type of situation there. With I wasn't really able to join the military because of my vision, and look where I am now today, working with the military. Yeah, so glasses, and when I got braces, I've always enjoyed seeing people with like just amazing smiles, things like that. And people say I have a nice smile, but like I feel like I never actually smile. Like I'm like, you might catch me laughing, but I feel like I never smile. So when I got braces, um, I'll probably jump back a little bit, as well as part of like the self-care stuff, around the age of 23, 24. I actually started experiencing hair loss. um, I just, I wasn't happy. It was like another little situation. I think I reached out to some family members. I was like, yeah, man, like, my hair, I'm losing my hair. My mom's over here like, oh boy, the barber that messed you. I was like, nah, man, the barber can't do the. He'll be messing people up like this, man. Trust me. Um, like with my sister, she was like, I tried to shave my head bald, shave my head bald. Some people are like, oh, you look good bald. I shaved my head bald, took a picture. Man, my sister commented, she's like, "You need to grow your hair back out, man." I was in tears, man. I was like, I can't grow my hair back out, man." And then that's when I knew, man. I was just like, I wasn't happy, so it was something that I felt like I had to fix, for myself, for myself to be happy. And I went out and got it fixed. I mean, obviously, right? I went out and got it fixed, but some people don't even know that. But I don't know how y'all wouldn't know that. You can literally see the pictures. Maybe one day like I'll actually kind of like share like the pictures. But and I was like 23, 24, age 29, braces, glasses, the fitness, the mental health, all that stuff is very important. And yeah, overall it's been a huge success. I had the title of senior systems administrator the 2 years during COVID when I was out there in Indiana. uh, Within the first year, uh, got a raise, exceeding expectations on the review, things like that. Second year, same thing, um, just exceeding the goals again. Um, and then basically how I ended up, where I am today is it's the same company as well. Like I said, I knew it was a great company I was in. I feel like I got the experience. I was like, hey man, it's been 2 years. Plus they've been talking about some iffy type stuff, and I was like, hey, it clicked again. Complacency. Don't be complacent, guys. I was like, it clicked. I was like, you know what? I've just done 2 years. I don't really like the words that they're talking about right now in these meetings. It might be time to go. Sure enough, the timing was right, and that's how I ended up in Kuwait, making that six-figure income, that thing that I've always wanted. Um, but again, there's more. So some people they'll just see me where I am now and just think like, man, this guy is successful, whatever. A lot of people think that a lot of stuff that I have, I just had it handed out to me, but I would definitely tell you, it has been a journey. It's been really rough. There's been a lot of there's constantly hard decisions that I have to make, um, to kind of be where I am today, right now. Um, because just I mean, for example, some like one of my recent posts that I talked about, and a lot of it, like if I ever post, it's just because multiple people have just said things that I just didn't quite really agree with, and I don't think a lot of people like talk about. Um, it's the certain mindset of people that it bothers me. Um, because I mean, it's not like a matter of just right and wrong. It's just it's just I guess when it's somebody that knows me and they say it to me, that's when it bothers me. Like I'm not trying to change anybody's opinion, their minds or anything like that, but it's just yeah, just things that just don't sit with me well. Is because obviously we are on different mindsets. That's why you are where you're at and I am where I am, type of situation. Um, so for example, there's people who'll be like, oh man, like man, you got it real good. You got a good job. Blah, blah. You know how many times I've heard that? Like let's see, years ago when I was a contractor at USA at a help desk, like, oh man, you got a good job, man, you doing good. And then people some people hear things like that and they think like, wow, I really do got it good, and they just stay there. They just stay put. And a job will let you just sit there and stay put and give you nothing, give you maybe a high five and a slice of cake or something, and you'll just sit there, just work day in and day out, nothing new exciting happening, no new increase in your income or anything like that, because you got a good job, because you listened to somebody tell you that. And I bring that up because I believe the same thing, a similar effect happens when somebody tells you, oh man, you look good, you don't need to work out. I literally see people get told that and they just blow up. And I'm not talking like getting famous, I'm talking about they get fat. And I see it all too often. So like I really learned this at an early age that um, when I'm having conversations with people, or people say things to me, I kind of just take it, filter it. I'll take like what I need from it. Like people say like, man, you don't know how to take a compliment sometimes, things like that. It's just I'm like, hey, like thanks, but like I've been told like, hey, like I don't need to work out. I'm like, hey, thanks, but like I know where I used to be to where I am now. So like if I stopped, why would I want to go backwards? Or it to me, and fitness is like an ongoing thing. You don't just get fit and you just stay fit forever. It's just I don't think that's how it works at all. Um, and then those people just be like, again, like, dang man, you got it good, and man, I'm trying to get like you, things like that, and these types of people too is just I feel like anybody can do whatever they put their mind to. Like the humans are possible, they're possible, they're capable of anything. Technology. You see like cars. I don't know if people really got sent to the moon, but but you get what I'm saying. That so the people are just like, man, I'm trying to get like you, things like that. They say things like this, but what they never actually do is they never ask you like, what do I need to do to get to where you are? They're not asking questions like that. They're just making statements like, damn, you got it good. Wish I was you. Man, if I can go back a couple of years, man, if I if I was younger, or I wish I would have did. I hear things like this all the time. Man, I wish I would have, and you know, dang man, I'm trying to get like you. Things like that. Uh, it's just way too much of it, and I think that comes down to the mindset again. And again, anybody could do what I'm doing. Um, And I'm not sure if I'm going to get into that yet or when I'm going to get to it, but like again, when it comes to like the past, man, it's just like the past, asking the right questions. You gotta do those things. You can't just look and be starstruck at somebody else's, success, or you see somebody who you like what they got going on, and then you don't really think to yourself, well, how can I get that? You know, you just go like, dang, must be nice type of thing, and then you just, again, that's complacency to me. When you're talking like that, it's just complacency. But when the people that you have the discussion with, you ask them like, hey, what do I got to do to get there? You know what I mean? That's the type of stuff that you want to do. And I'd also like to mention, I feel like I'm trying to kind of get into the past right now, actually. One thing I'd like to mention is sometimes the paths are not the same. So, for example, there's people who's already been where I want to be. There's people who's already been where I am right now. And what it took for them to get here isn't necessarily the same path that I took to get here. They may have had it easier years ago because maybe there was less requirements, but meanwhile, I had to go a completely different route, different path to get to the same spot, but I arrived with different tools, things that just make me stronger, potentially stronger overall, things like that. I'm comfortable where I am, but it was a different route that I had to take. And I've definitely seen people get led down the wrong path, and I wanted to explain that one first because like this is why I met somebody recently who was told like, hey, you should go do this. This is a great way to get your foot in the door. And then they talked to me, and I'm like, well, that's actually a complete waste of your time. You told me that you wanted to do this, then you should really in reality be doing this. Just things like that. So you also, when you're having discussions with people, you have to take in the information, but do your research and figure out and do what's best for you. You have to really evaluate your path, and then validate, is that the correct path for you? Is that possible? You see it in Texas all the time, roads are always changing, things are always changing, right? Oh man, when did this McDonald's get here? Things like that. And and even with that analogy, well, some people feel like life are passing them by when they're asking these questions years later. Man, if I wish I would have did this when I was younger type of situation. Life passes you by. You're going down the same road for years. All of a sudden, you notice that there's that new McDonald's over there. You're like, well, damn. Well, that new McDonald's is somebody who just passed you up and started being successful, moving on. Like life moves on. Literally, you're sitting here just same thing every day. Everything moves on around you. You don't want to end up like that. But so with that said, networking is important. Networking is, who you meet could potentially help you out. Things in life are never handed out to you. Paths are never going to be the same. You have to have the desire, the drive to get to where you want to be. You also have to know where you want to be. Talking about using words like success, things like that. To me, I also feel like success is what you make it. It's not what somebody deems like if your goal was to just, I don't know, have a Bugatti, and you feel like, I mean, I know I've made it when I got a Bugatti. You got a Bugatti, now you can mark it off your list. You're successful. But nobody's going to nobody can determine if you're successful or not. Basically, this is what I'm trying to say. Success is based off your goals, where you want to be. Did I succeed in my goals that I set for myself? If I did, then I consider myself successful. Okay. I love this one. So I also seen some posts on Facebook about it was some picture indicating not necessarily networking, but it's kind of hooking somebody up. So I think that the picture, the way it was depicted was a group of Caucasian. It was a group of Caucasians, Caucasians, African Americans, things like that. So with the Caucasian males, it's he goes out, gets a really nice job, and then he puts his people on. He helps them get the job, right? and it's like, yeah, and then it gets down, so it shows some other ethnicity, and then it gets down to the African Americans, and it's like, like, here's a successful black man, and then he's just like, nah, I'm not gonna, basically hook the homies up or whatever. And like, I might like, man, they don't ever want to help somebody, put somebody on, things like that. I don't agree with that though, with that picture at all. But I will say this, and the reason I don't agree, and the problem I have with this is, when I talked about like nothing really handed out to you, things like that, and how I talked about my story and how I try to position myself to where I won't be denied things like that. So here it is, this successful person, and then you're that friend that wants to get put on. You want this handout, blah blah blah. Like, oh yeah, man, can you get me in? Can you get me in? But what have you done to position yourself to be deserving of the job that you want the hookup on? You know what I mean? Like, what path has led you to be on the same road to be like, yeah, hey, we can do this. And I guess like more so what I'm trying to say is, I'm here. I've grinded. I went out, got certified. I've educated myself. I've done X, Y, and Z. And you're just coming from nowhere and you're just saying, put me on. I'm just like, it doesn't work like that. And even if you were able to get on, if things go south, not only do you look bad, but now you've made me look bad, and now my reputation is kind of shot. And I think from the picture, what you're not getting is like the Caucasian people in that group. I'm not trying to be racist. I'm just talking about this picture. More than likely, they probably went to the same school. They've done the same thing. They're studying. They're like, hey man, you need to go get this certification. You need to go do this and this and that. Or like I said, asking the right question. Hey, what do I need to do to get to where you are? I feel like they've done all of this, so it's a lot easier to transition to put your friends on when they're putting in the actual work. But it's not going to be handed to you. So that was like the only issue I had with that picture, because like, some of the people in question, I kind of question like, okay, well, if you feel that way, what have you done? Like, what have you done to better position yourself to where something like that doesn't happen? And uh, for those who don't know, like, I like the also to get to where I am today, it came down to networking. I met this guy years ago at the job that, I felt like, hey, I needed to leave. This one guy that I met years later is where I wanted to be. I've already done everything that I needed to do to qualify or overqualify for the position that got me here. So I put in like, again, different paths. He was already here for 3 years. Meanwhile, I had to go different routes and do different steps to arrive to the same spot. But I've come with different tools, different set of knowledge, etc. And I feel like I'm all the more better for it. So just something else I wanted to share on that. So I'm gonna kind of get into a little bit more personal stuff as well. Like, yeah, I had a family member reach out to me, and it's just like, hey man, like, you're like one of my favorite cousins, and I feel like you're real successful and all, and I want to know, man, what advice can you give me, things like that. And everybody's different, paths are different. Remember that. And what I would like to say is that I really want to jump there, but I'm saying, so never mind. I'll start out here. First things first, you need to have a goal. You need to know what it is that you want in life. If you don't know that, then chances are you really won't have a drive to kind of go anywhere or do anything that needs to be done, because you don't know what to do, because you don't know what you want to do. So for me, like I said, jumping back, I said, hey, here's the things that I like doing, but I want to go and do this because I know that I can. Okay, cool, boom. I'm going to do school because I was like, you know what, 4 years of school, that should set me up for something good. All right. This is how I think, by the way. Like, I wasn't like, hey, yeah, man, I want to go. Like I said, I can't even think past, like, I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow, type of situation. So I kind of think about, what I do. I kind of think about it in bullet points. As time goes on, I've developed what I'd like to hit next, if that makes sense. And I think a big problem is people overwhelm themselves trying to think that they have to have the entire plan just laid out in front of them. Like, this is what I have to do, and it's never going to be a straight path. And I see it. And some people, they don't know what they want to do, but they don't even know where to start. They don't even know how to brainstorm what it is that they want to do. You might know what you need to do, like that. You might know what you want to do, but you're just so lost in your own head that you can't even formulate what it actually is. Some advice that I would give to people is like what my dad did for me was we took you can use a dry erase board. We used a big notepad. I'm just gonna call it big because it technically was a big note, a big notepad, right? Drew a line straight up, down, from the bottom up, right? Here's this road. Said, okay. Again, we started writing down, okay, this is what I like doing. This is what I want to do. This is where I'm going right now. I'm going to go to school, branch number one, the first exit. Hey, you got your associate's degree. You want to get off here, take a break, blah, blah, blah. Now we're going to keep going. All right, boom. We're going straight up. Go straight up. Okay, we got the bachelor's degree. What's next? I was like, well, I don't know what's next. Let's get a good job. Let's get some experience. All right, boom. Okay, got the experience. From here, during college, people started putting in my mind like, hey man, overseas contracting job, man, that's where the money is, blah blah blah. I was like, okay, well, hey, overseas contract job, bullet point. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it as a bullet point because why am I leaving it as a bullet point? Because I don't know how to get there yet. Have no idea how to get there. So that's been a bullet point since I was in college. But I gotta keep moving. Can't be complacent. So I was like, all right. So where was I? So all right, after college, got a job. I actually left the job, got a job in desktop support, got the hands-on experience. All right, got laid off. I'm trying to jump. I'll probably jump to these challenges as well while we're at it. So, oil field job, bought my first car, got laid off. Brand new car, laid off. You can see where this is going. Would be a problem, but also by this time, saving money, things like that. Okay, we're good to go. There's also a period in my life where I was damn near homeless. A lot of people don't know about that. It's also same time that I met the friend that helped me get the job to where I am now. It's crazy, right? All right, so new car, laid off. I'm just gonna kind of jump around. There was a time where I also ended up at Pearson selling books. Like Pearson, like the book company. So here I am. Pretty sure this is after I graduated. I have a bachelor's degree in information systems and cybersecurity. Laid off at some point, and I'm selling books. And I was there for 3 months during the training phase, and then, boom. By that time, I'm not sitting here. I want to talk about complacency again, because I'm not sitting here like, oh man, how can I sell some more books really fast? I had a guy like approach me and was just like, hey man, I can show you the ropes, man. I can get you up there, man. We can get a promotion. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's cool. It's like, well, that's in my mind. I'm like, that's not the path for me, right? I know what my path is. I got to get out of here because I ain't selling books. So, during that 3 month time frame, I considered this a buffer. And during that buffer, I was applying for the jobs. I needed to get back on my path, right? Again, life is never a straight path. There's always going to be challenges, obstacles. Got me another IT job, USA real estate company. Boom. I was there for 3 months as well. Man, really tough right there. Basically, well, I don't want to get into the details of why I had to leave there, but I had to leave there. And then I ended up at Tesoro. All right, boom. Tesoro was real nice. Things are starting to get back on track where I wanted to, back into the IT realm, more hands-on. And it was here that I started to kind of think, like, what's next? I was like, I knew that where I am right now is what came after help desk. But I was like, well, what's next? Looked into it. System administrator. I was like, man, that sounds like a really cool title, right? System administrator. How do I get there? My dad said, man, ask one of the guys in the position, blah, 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 blah. I was like, yeah, you're right. So I seen this guy. He was a brother. He was a black guy. I was like, okay, man, it should be cool, right? Ask him. I was like, hey, what can I do to get to where you are? And, can I shadow you or anything like that? He kind of shot me down. And then we had a customer. I had to help this customer. And then I didn't really like the way he handled the situation. he's like, oh yeah, well, blah 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 blah. He was helping the customer. He's like, okay, now you go do what you do, which is like kind of feel like it, like basically the way that it was worded, it was like it was beneath him. I completely understood what he was doing. But he passed it off to me because it was beneath him. I never really got any help, and I'm not gonna lie, that kind of made me go like, like well, one, this dude's like a douche or whatever, and that kind of ties in like a little bit back into that story. It was just like, hey man, like I'm thinking like, yo, hook a brother up, like so there's gonna be some kind of help there, and there was none. But I feel like there's gonna be obstacles and these challenges, and there's gonna be people that are put in your way to kind of like to challenge you, but stayed strong. I was like, okay, well, it's okay, whatever. I'll find my own path. I'll figure it out myself. Which is what I have to do. Also during that time, there were some issues going on, and I didn't feel like my job was secure anymore. So again, I'm not gonna sit there and let the ship sink. It's also really late here. It's like it's about to be 9. Yeah, I wasn't gonna sit there and basically drown. Okay, I'll put it that way. I'm not gonna sit there and drown. So another interesting story. So like while I was working, new employee comes in. I'm helping this new employee set his things up. I tell him my situation. I've also met a few other people. I was telling them my situation. They all really feel bad for me. They started emailing my manager, telling them how amazing I was, and then my manager thought I was fabricating all of this, by the way. And I was like, no, like they were genuinely like, no, like you're really awesome. You work really hard, and I'm like, thank you, But none of that I felt like was gonna save me. So I was like, okay, well, so one of the guys that I was helping, he said, you know what? He's like, let me see what I can do for you. And then he reached out, to some friends or something, and next thing I know, I got an interview lined up, Rackspace, which is a pretty big company in San Antonio, at least at the time. I don't want to talk about where they're at right now. Um, but Rackspace, that came to my school before when I was in college, and I thought they had their head up their ass because they seemed pretty cocky. And I was like, I'm never gonna work for these assholes, right? That's what I said, right? Never gonna work for them. I ended up working for them for like how long was I there? Like 2 or 3 years, maybe even 4 years. I don't even remember. Maybe 3 years. We'll just say 3 for now. So left the Soro, ended up at Rackspace. Sometimes some people feel like, man, man, I was just in the right place at the right time. I also kind of feel like positioning is very important because, yes, like, he reached out to his friends, helped me get the job, but like I still had to have that experience. I still had to, do everything that I needed to do to get to that point to be able to take advantage of the opportunity that was presented to me. Again, I feel like nothing's really handed out to you. I still had to work for that. I still had to study, look into things before the interview, things like that, educate myself more, basically. So again, it just wasn't simply handed to me. So, saved by the bell. So I ended up at Rackspace, and guess what title that I got? System administrator. Never, I was literally just at this job. Went to go try to talk to this guy, figure out what I got to do to get to where he got, to where he is. Just wasn't happening. Thought the dude was kind of like a douche. I was like, damn, maybe in the next. I literally told myself, I was like, maybe 2 more years I can. I still have to get. I was a contractor. I still have to get hired on full time. I never had a full time job since I graduated college. Contract after contract after contract. So the jobs I had are only 3 months long. It's like contract. They don't need an excuse to let you go. It was really rough. Honestly, it was really rough. Really rough. Like I said, I think around that time too, I was like, that's when I kind of ended up like not necessarily like homeless, but I didn't have a place to like stay. Money was like really tight in between jobs. Like I said, I ended up at piercings. I had to do what I had to do, things like that. It's just it wasn't easy. I really truly have been through a lot, and I'm kind of grazing over it to where it doesn't sound like it. But if you ever really just ask me everything I've been through, I truly have been through a lot, and some people just don't know that. I've cars, breaking down, things like that. Not having money, just everything you could think of. I used to have to ride the bus. I was riding the bus to school, to college originally. My first job out in San Antonio. I'm not sure how I got here, by the way, on this part of the story. But the first job, I had to walk out there and go into the store every day at Walgreens. and just talk to the managers. Hey, like, hey, introduce myself. And I had to get myself my first job. Walk, you had to walk there, get a little money and get some clothes, go there, riding the bus to school. Um, I truly feel like I started from the bottom. I didn't really have a lot growing up, things like that. So it's just like the reality of it is, and the whole point of the story is to let people know that it has not been easy. And when my cousin told me he seems, he said like I'm successful and how can I get there? I just want people to know that you can get anywhere you want to get, but you got to put in that work. You got to get off your ass. You got to do something. And just know that it's not going to be easy. You're going to have a lot of hard decisions to make, things like that. So yeah, I ended up at Rackspace. It was a super awesome job, man. I love that job. The company parties were lit. They had kegs, you had beer, like at work. It was dope. So anyway, I got the title system administrator. Boom. Man, that was everything is just rough for me. So I went through a training program. The trainer basically wanted me fired. It was a lot of BS. I'm just gonna kind of skip over some. It was a lot of BS. I went from the guy that they wanted to fire to being like the guy that they just loved having around, like basically the guy who got shit done. I don't feel like sugarcoating anymore. It's getting late. I was basically like the guy. So within the first year, I got promoted. I went from like system administrator 1 to system administrator 2 within 1 year. And crazy enough, like the guy that trained me didn't get promoted, and then I ended up training him, and he still didn't get promoted. But I mean, I don't know why I got into that. I just felt like sharing it. It was so weird. Oh no, I think I just reason I mentioned that because I think I feel like there was some confrontation after that, because as I progressed and they really couldn't get to where I was, I just feel like that some stuff started coming about that actually affected me and my job, things like that. So that job it got a little crazy, but it was great for the experience. I really that's man, that is like hands down exactly what I needed. It's where I needed to be, and like I said, all that came about from the positioning and just positioning myself and talking to the right people, like the networking, things not being handed out to me just really working, grinding, and making sure that I'm in a position where I can take a job like that. One of the jobs that I had legitimately said a bachelor's required. It didn't matter what the bachelor's was in, but it said bachelor's required. And if I didn't get that bachelor's, I wouldn't be able to get that job. If I didn't get that job and got laid off, then I don't think I would have ended up where I am. Like these paths, these decisions that I made, things like that. The places where I just ended up, and it all works out. It all worked out like that for me. And from Rackspace, I knew it was time to leave there too. They just went out and did all this grinding, everything. It just wasn't happening. And like I said, that's when I left. Got with GDIT, 2 years in Indiana, and now I'm in Kuwait. So I know I mentioned earlier that I've had to make like a lot of hard decisions, and it comes down to a lot of personal stuff, like the fact that I've never dated. I've always been single. I've also mentioned that some people I feel like are just they're put in my life to kind of just challenge me, in a way. I guess, like, let me elaborate. Like, what I mean by that is they kind of challenge like your mindset and how confident you are in your path and what it is that you're doing. For example, the things that I said I like doing, like gaming, also like gaming, entertaining. So that's actually something that I can still do now, actually, on my free time. I had a friend that would always hit me up, ask me, "What am I doing?" I was like, "Well, I'm playing my game. That's what I do when I'm down to something. That's what I enjoy doing." And it's like, "Oh, you're always playing your little game, blah 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 blah. You need to go out, party, and blah blah blah." Speaking of party, you know how many parties I've turned down that I had to say no to? When I was working at Rackspace, I worked Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, every Saturday. All my friends, "Man, let's go out, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "No, I got work in the morning." "Oh, but you work from home, man. You're young, blah blah blah." If I had listened to these people, I'd be so screwed. I would not be where I am today. coming. I actually almost got fired for just being late. Like it's still possible to be late working from home. It's laughable. It's like, oh, man, how was you late? You were working from home, blah blah blah. These people are not you. They don't understand. I've actually when you actually talk to somebody who goes through exactly what you go through, they actually understand. That's very important to note. When when people are saying, hey, you don't need to work out, man, you look good, blah blah blah. Look at them. Are they in shape? You know what I mean? You can't listen to it. You gotta listen. You gotta really evaluate the quality of the people who are saying these things to you. Like, man, you got a good job. You don't need to do nothing else. Look at the type of job that they have. 9 times out of 10, they're saying that because they don't have what you have. You can't let things like that, get to you. You can't let it stop you or demotivate you or just make you become complacent. So getting back to like the whole little, oh, you're playing your little game all the time, blah blah blah. And keep in mind that's something that I originally said I enjoy doing, but I didn't want to go to school for it. So I actually make money from playing my little game. So I explained that to like to this person, and now suddenly it became, oh, well, how much is it? Blah, blah. It doesn't matter. The point is, it's what I enjoy doing, and I make money for it, so I'm happy. That's what's important. I'm happy. Things that I do or things that you do won't make sense to other people. Some people they don't understand it. They won't understand it, and in fact, they're probably not even meant to understand it. And that's what I mean by like they're like a challenge. They're just put there to just maybe throw you off, and there's nothing that's like stop me. I mentioned how I'm single and never dated before. I also feel like one of the like some of the hard decisions I've had to make before was just like, hey, do you want to like? There was a time where I wanted to date, and then there's a time, which was like after after like 3 times, I just had no desire to date. Like it just didn't cross my mind. I've always been more focused on my career. When I got to like a certain point in my life, I just more focused on my career. I just wanted more for myself. I knew the ultimate goal for me is to do nothing. You ask me if I like IT. People ask me, do I like do I like what I do? Do I like IT? All that stuff. No, I don't. I honestly don't. What I like doing is nothing. I like sitting on my ass doing nothing. I like sleeping. That's what I like doing. So the goal is to work my ass off now so that I can relax and do nothing later, instead of waiting till I'm old as hell and then be like, damn, what did I do wrong? Now I have to work. That's you gotta listen to those people that say like, man, if I was your age, I would have did X, Y, Z. You probably need to go do X, Y, Z. Depending, but remember, take in what you need to and find your own path. Um, so yeah, I feel like this is one person that was in my life. It was really good. Nothing against them. In fact, we have a strong relationship. But I was hit with basically like, hey, can I live with you or I'm leaving? And I was like, well, I guess you're gonna have to leave, because I knew that that's not something I was ready for. I wasn't ready to not only be in a relationship, but then to live with somebody, to things like that. And I still have these plans, these things that I want to do, stuff like that. The challenge of relationships has been very difficult for me. I literally always get accused of, and I have to just say that because there's no way to sugarcoat this. I always get accused of just being like a hoe or like X, Y, Z. It's just like people just assume because I have a nice job, nice car, that I just talk to like all these women and blah blah blah. In reality, 9 times out of 10, I'm just at home playing my game or just minding my own business. And, I like to have friends. I like to be social. And admittedly, like a lot of my friends, they are females. It's just I don't really have too many male friends that I just like relate to like that. And I met like women. It's the same for them. They have a lot of like male friends or whatever. I deal with like a lot of just unneeded stress that people place on me. I mean, even like till this day, it's just like, hey, you should be with me and blah, blah, blah. And to be honest, I can quickly tell, like, just at a glance, like, if I know that this person's right for me or not. And it's just like, I just know that they're not the right one for me. And I don't want to waste anybody's time, things like that. And, and the reason I say it's a hard decision because, like, humans are social beings. You're not supposed to just be living in isolation, things like that. So it's really hard. It's really difficult. So That's why I try to just make friends and things like that. And I won't get into all the extra stuff, but yeah, it's been a real challenge. Like I've literally been treated pretty badly by people, or they just try to push themselves upon me, and they don't understand, what it is that I'm doing. They just make assumptions. People try to take advantage of you. They think you have money, things like that. And I always tell people no. I'm always broke, and I still am. Um, it's also a mindset thing. It like I've had these discussions so much. Like, oh, why don't you want to be with this person? You can grow, or you can grow, blah blah blah, do whatever together. But my problem is, it's usually somebody who's here. I'm here. I don't have the time to sit here and help somebody grow all the way up to here, especially if their mindsets are not even on the same wavelength. I guess is a good way to put it, because you're just like, oh, let's have some money, let's go do the blah 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 blah, and I'm just like, okay. Now I've even asked somebody before, okay, so what would you like doing? Oh, I like traveling, blah blah blah. Okay, well, what are you doing to have the means to be able to do what you like doing, which is traveling? All with nothing. Well, I don't know what I want to do. I'm just stuck at this job. Oh, I hate it. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, why are you at this job? You have these credentials, you have this experience. Why are you not looking for something else? And they can't even get this far. I don't have the time to help somebody develop like this when I've had to do all this, and I'm doing perfectly fine by myself. So for everybody keeps saying like, oh, why are you single? Oh, you're single by choice, blah blah. Relationships is not necessarily something I feel like I need to have in my life. That's I feel like it's something that society just places on, like, oh, you need to have relationships. Some people feel like they need to have a relationship, some type of like companionship or whatever. I feel like I need to get to where I need to go so I can relax. There's people I've met, they're just so focused on relationships, and now they got kids and everything like that. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying, but they're just here now. They're just like, well, living day in and day out, and now you got this whole brand new set of responsibilities. Like me, I've had to make very hard decisions, say no, get to where I am, literally still say no, and I'm doing great. I'm where I want to be. I am exactly where I want to be. And I'm not against dating. I'm not like people say, oh, you're just cutting it off. You're not even giving people a chance. It's like, no. Again, I'm on this road. I'm on this path. Things are never a straight path. Now, if somebody comes into my life and they align with this path, then yes, I am. That's what I'm open to. What I'm not open to is I don't know, this car with three wheels and a busted windshield trying to like wiggle its way into my life. I'm just like, no, like I just can't. Respectively, it's just not a smart move. I can't I can't be up here and then just it would hold me back. I feel like I feel like I avoid things that I feel that would hold me back. I met some very amazing people in my life, and I just kept it 100, just kept it real with them and said like, I'm not the one for you. I'm just not the one for you. And some of them are happily married now, and I'm happy for them. I'm glad that I'm can still be their friends, things like that. Um, but again, it is a hard choice, being single, being alone, and doing what I do. Um, so I just also wanted to mention that. Like I said, everybody's path is different. I'm not saying that you can't have wife and kids and be out and all that stuff, but it's like for me, the setup that I chose with the decisions that I made, here's the situation that I am currently in. I forgot to mention this earlier, but I'm debt free now. I did all this in the age of 29. I'm debt free. I've hit the goal of the overseas job. I make six figures by myself. Um, I don't have any kids. I mean, I've really just came out here, I would say, somewhat of the perfect situation that I positioned myself to be in to get to where I am. So I feel like I'm starting out 30 exactly where I want to. Um, and I'm still just, still single or whatever. But again, it was just a hard decision. And this is a good one. I don't really have any regrets. I don't have any regrets, to be honest. Oftentimes, the decisions that I make feel like regret, but it's not actual regret. I don't actually regret anything because I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't make the decisions that I felt like I needed to make, those hard decisions. I don't think I would be where I am right now. I truly don't think that. So, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm happy, but I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased with where I am. Like I said, no regrets. So, and I have more plans to keep pushing, to keep on pushing. Now, I did shoot my shot at, this a very particular woman that I am interested in. But we'll see how that goes. Time will tell. But again, it's just something that it'd be nice, but it's not a necessity for me. And I feel like that was just an important thing that defined me to get me to where I am. Is I don't feel the need to have a relationship. I've actually been approached like you should marry me, um, like more than once, different people, and I'm just like no, like no, I don't know what it is. I don't think I'm that great of a person, but I really feel like I'm not gonna call them obstacles, but I just really feel like there's just things that present themselves to me that I feel like might deviate me from the path that I'm choosing to take for myself, and I don't feel like it aligns with my path, which is why I say no. Just why I just can't agree with anything like that, and I kind of stray away from anything like negative or that would just knock me off, the path or the route that I'm going. So I still have much more that I want to accomplish, man. And I think I'm in a good spot, and I'm looking forward to seeing what I could do next, and what short amount of time frame that I can do it in. Somebody asked me when do they see me retire, and I told them 3 years. I told them 3 years, and I usually don't set goals like that because the last time I set a goal, I said 3 years. It was literally within the same year that I hit the goal. That's crazy. So I'm like, hey, when they ask me when I'm retiring, 3 years. So we'll see. So ask me the next time. I'm not gonna get to the full details of what my new plan is. I don't want people going like, man, you've been talking about that for years. But just know that I have a plan. For those who don't really know how to have a plan or what to do next, I would, like I said, I would tell my friend or anybody who has a discussion with me, write it down, guys. Write down your thoughts, draw it out, draw that line down the middle of the paper, draw some branches, write your different options. Every option should have a different stem. Well, if I do this, I can go this and this and that. I can do this and this and that. What do I have to do to get there? This is what I need, XYZ, right? You have to really think about it like that. You're not just gonna sit down, throw in a beer bag, and it's not just gonna come to you like that. Like, damn, I want what he got. What do I got to do? Okay, let's do it. Yeah, you got to get off your ass, formulate somewhat of a plan. Doesn't have to be a straight shot. It can be bullet points. Bullet points can even get you in the right direction as you start to fill out everything that's in between to get to the bullet point. So for me, I know I now have a new plan, and I think I'm already on the right path. There's some little stuff that's in between. It's like some branches out. I was like, well, I can get me some experience right now, and I could do this. I could go to Germany. I've always kind of wanted to go back to Germany, and I could potentially, or not even potentially, I can do that. How am I going to do it? Don't quite know yet, but I know that it's something that I'm capable of doing if I want to do it. So that's my mindset right there. Just sharing a little bit about me. I shared a lot actually about me. Uh, and then another quick thing I just feel like repeating is sometimes you got to just do it, just get it out the way, guys. A lot of things in my life I didn't actually enjoy doing, but I did it, and it made me all the more stronger for it. Ooh, another good thing I'd like to say is a quote that I got from my dad. I'm not sure where he got it from, but I share this one a lot with people that I meet, and I ask them what their goals are, what do they want to do. We talked about how do you get there, things like that. Think about it this way as well. What can I do on this day that's going to get me to where I want to go in the future? So basically, it's on a daily, you could be doing something that benefits you in the future. I hope I said that right because I'm getting tired, but I know that second part that I just said is very accurate. That's definitely what I meant to say. Me going out, buying a book on Amazon, spending some money, even if I barely got money, that's an investment. I did something that day. I invested. Get the book, spent a week reading it every day. I'm learning something. I go out, I take the test, I get certified. I have this piece of paper. It says I know things. I'm good for 3 years. Now I have this window of 3 years to find a position that requires that piece of paper. There's a job out there looking for a guy who has that piece of paper. They need a guy who knows what he's doing. That guy could be me. You kind of see where I'm going with that. Everything that I do benefits me in the future, if possible. It could be eating healthy. It could literally be anything. Another quick story. Back when I started college, I didn't have a job. My dad was like, "Oh man, you need to get a job, blah blah." I explained that how I got my first job, right? But I think just a little bit later, when I wanted to start finding a job in my career field. He's like, "Hey man," my dad would call me. I'd be sleep, man. I love sleep. I told you I love sleeping. Call me like, "Hey, what's going on, man? You sound like you just woke up." I get this a lot, by the way. I'm like, yeah, what's going on? It's like, "Hey man, what's going on?" It's like, you didn't get a job yet, a job's not just gonna knock on your door or whatever, And then I think from this point he actually just starts lecturing me. Like, I think he was pretty upset that day. I don't know why. He was upset, and I'm just listening to him. He's like, "Yeah, like I said, it's not gonna come knocking on your door. You need to get up. You need to be doing this. You need to start applying. Blah 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 blah." By the end of it all, I go, "Oh, by the way, I got a job, and I started Monday." He's like, "Oh, well, congrats." I'm like, "Yeah." What he didn't know was that every day I was applying to jobs. I was on Career Builder, things like that. I was applying to jobs every day. I applied to so many jobs, I actually ran out of jobs to apply to. So I started sleeping more because I've literally done it all. And that was every day. I sat there like applying. And I finally landed a job. I had an interview. I learned how to kick ass in interviews, man. Got a job, man. So, yeah, that was a good example of, what can I do on this day that's going to benefit me in the future. Every day I applied, and the future was I got that job. Get the job. What am I doing every day? I'm getting that experience. What am I getting that experience for? That future job is going to get me more money. What is that more money going to get me? It's going to get me retirement. What is retirement going to get me? It's going to get me that extra happiness. What is that extra happiness going to get me? I don't know. But I'm going to be chilling. The story continues. But this has been the 30th birthday. This has been my story. I just want to share you guys, share a lot of my thoughts. Yeah, again, thank you everybody who reached out to me, man. I hope anybody who watched the video, I hope there was anything that you guys could actually take away from, or maybe learn something new. If you guys have any questions for me, please feel free to hit me up. Please feel free to comment. And aim high, guys. You can accomplish anything. Just put your mind to it. Get that plan. Get out there and go get it. It's never over, y'all. It's never over. Never too late for anything. Just get off your ass and just do it. Everybody's path is different. Late start's better than no start. Hey, let's get to it, man. Y'all stay blessed. Thank you for watching. Take care.